keep the lighting dim,
It was very
bright,
dim. It was
very
very
dim.
dim, and humid, and I think that has a lot to do with the huge eyes. That's uh, indicative that any animal on Earth that has such huge eyes tends to be a nocturnal animal. In other words, their normal environment is low light.
Right.
So if they were to venture out there outside their normal environment, it would no longer be an eye with a pupil, but maybe would require some sort of a covering, either a natural second eyelid or maybe some sort of a contact lens that would cover the entire eye. However, I do think that of the variety of species that are visiting us, they're that although they, in a general description, or go under the name the grays, actually are probably a variety of different species from a variety of different planets.
Right.
Right. Um, there are other UFO researchers that claim that there are over 60 species cataloged as of 1994. So I can imagine that there are many races. Um, we have a comment from Mr. DB Cooper 77 in the chat room. He was in reference to when you were fighting back on board with the entities. He said, unless you were sedated, a huge percentage of humans would not be able to react to such a shock. You would literally be in shock and fight or flight the whole time. Can't even imagine what it was like. That's what Alex or Mr. DB Cooper wanted to tell you.
And that's the truth.
Yeah, yeah. The if the energy that struck me injured my brain in such a way, or disoriented me to where they could not extend any sort of telepathic reassurance or uh, any control from them to limit my ability to react. So I was, they became a bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a $5 super chat in the chat room with a question for Travis. Travis, do you think that their technology was a mix of material consciousness? Also, do you think the ship was fueled on an atomic level?
I don't know anything about the atomic. I do know that there were um, high radiation levels detected at the site soon after that disappeared, and high magnetic levels. Um, but that is just was measured by people other than me. So I don't know the nature of the technology, but it's definitely something far beyond what humans normally employ.
Right. Do you believe that in general the U.S. Congress is aware, for the most part, of the fact that alien life is real, that we have been visited, or they're already here?
Yeah, I think there's uh, elements in our government, at least, have they know more than we do, but they don't know everything.
Right.
True. Let me ask you,
Well,
Travis, if you had the opportunity today to revisit the craft that you were on back in 75 in a safer environment, let's say, no beings on board, empty craft, but you had the opportunity to step on there and check it out and see the actual craft in its entirety, would you go back on to check it out today?
Yeah, yeah, I would. I would hope that I would even have the courage to confront the beings themselves, if I could be assured that I was safe and not a captive. It was just sort of the uh, residual memory might affect me more than I expect, but I would hope that I had reached a better understanding of them and their intention in retrospect.
Yeah. We recently had a talk on my show on Identified as for a couple weeks ago. We were having a discussion about you had gone back to the forest many years later, and I believe it was mentioned that a tree core sample was taken from where the craft was hovering over. Would you happen to know whatever happened to those tree core samples that you guys had taken?
Well, I had some of them at my house.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah,
So what exactly happened to the tree? The portion of it had like a sporadic growth in the area that the
yeah.
craft
There
was
was
hovering.
an abrupt increase in the thickness of the growth rings from that point forward. So it was a lasting effect. You only get
Right.
one growth ring per year,
Right.
but these accelerated or thickened growth rings went on for quite some time after the initial proximity of the craft to that
Wow.
plant material.
That's actually corroborated by Tom Reed's Berkshire UFO encounter, where the corn where the object was near grew to over 2 feet long. The actual ears of corn.
Wow, yeah. Well, the accelerated growth in the case of these trees was surprising, or let's say counterintuitive, because you would expect radiation to just kill any sort of living thing. But there's research online showing that that's not the case. Even in the case of the Chernobyl accident, there was some accelerated growth.
Yeah.
It wasn't natural in that case because the source of the radiation was.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to hear you because of the people in the background, but
Yeah, I was telling them we're doing an interview here.
yeah, okay,
And
well, that's cool.
they've got the band going in the other room there. It's created a lot of.
A lot of activity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you have a good dinner at the Cattle Man?
Yeah, it was good. We finished up real quick and got back over here so we could do the interview.
We really
I
appreciate
appreciate it 100%, Travis. I've been looking forward to talking to you for over 2 years. So, it's very important that you're here, and thank you for coming.
Well, happy to talk to you. I hope it was informative.
you're
Yes, I do have a question about the ship. In regards to the ship that most people don't ask, was there any smell on board the
Yeah,
ship?
so I have heard that question before, and I don't recall any specific smell. It was a heavy humidity to it, which and maybe the fact that I was recently injured interfered with my ability to smell.
Right. Can you elaborate on the injury that was
Well,
incurred
let
on
me
board?
go on to say that right now I have virtually no sense of smell.
Oh,
But
Wow.
I'm not sure whether that was from my years working at the paper mill or some other cause.
Right.
so
Um,
when the incident happened, did you have your sense of smell then, or you lost it years later?
Oh yeah, I did at the time.
Okay.
did you incur any injuries on board the craft? And if so, can you elaborate?
No, I think the principal injury was being hit by that energy,
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So then
which
the
might have been an accidental discharge of some kind.
Yeah. So then the story of the one craft hitting you with the beam and then you being transported to another craft is hearsay then. That's not true. It was just the one craft.
Well, no, I think I was transferred to a different
Oh,
craft.
really?
Yeah,
And
but I was unconscious.
yeah.
Genevieve from the chat room says, Travis, thank you so much for being here. Many French people are looking at this show today to see and listen to you. So we're making it all the way to France.
Wow.
Great, yeah. Vive la France.
Oui. Yes.
And Mr. Ted Langwell in the chat asked, please ask if Mr.